And this starts to get fun, right? And you start to actually see, wow, things are happening and my life is changing in a really good way. And I haven't felt this free before. I haven't felt this motivated before. And that's when the light goes on. And we're seeing this in our community. Like, I'm no longer in some self-made prison. Yo, Chris, man, what are you doing? What are you up to?
I'm just helping people reinvent their lives. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Well, I'm going to join in.
Cool.
God bless, we're breaking these runs. Life too short to play it on speed run.
All right, Todd, what are we talking about today? What are we going to share with our reinventors?
All right, Chris. Well, today we're discussing yet another topic that's highly worthy to shine a direct light on, as we're reinventing our careers and our lives. And that's how to use social media as things are changing, or we're in transition, or as we're exploring new reinvented pathways and not exactly sure when or how to share things publicly. And this is a big one because most midlife professionals who are facing reinvention don't look at their social media in a strategic way that can actually help them big time if they would simply employ a few mindset shifts and practices. And voila, okay? That's why we're doing this episode, to give you some practical advice for dealing with your profiles, ways to think about posting updates, and even how to develop an ongoing posting strategy that, in my opinion, is a great way to cross the chasm from the structured mindset of, well, I have just one career, into I'm a reinventor and I'm exploring many new things all the time. And man, Chris, this topic is so juicy, and I'm excited to jump in with you because I know it's been such a hot topic in our community, and you, our dear listeners, are going to get a lot of value and even some healthy creative pushes from us to accelerate your reinvention using your socials. Chris, man, what's popping for you and where do we begin?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with something you mentioned that may be a little unintuitive, but let's go there. Mindset. Mindset is really critical around this. We see this with all the people we talk to in our community and reinventors that we're interacting with. You're Gen X. I'm maybe the very tail end of Gen X. I'm like an elder millennial, exennial, whatever that is. We grew up in this world where we've talked about this on other episodes. You build quietly and then you reveal it to the world. You're a mad scientist working away in the garage and then you finally reveal your creation. And I think people, at least of our generation, have translated that mindset to social media, where it's like, I am presenting this polished, outward-facing thing, persona that doesn't really represent who I am. And we all know this. We've seen the people who they're always just traveling and everything's perfect for them and like you never see any sort of strife or anything like that. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is in the current social media landscape and with the younger generations, even in the business realm and in the personal branding realm, there is a huge push towards authenticity, vulnerability, openness, letting people see the process as you're going through it, letting people see you build it as you go. And that's actually what's really connecting with people right now and really drawing in. You see this across all the platforms. The days of the uber polished posts that are really like sexy and like almost just look like a television commercial, they're going the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
Just like that phrase is, Todd.
Yeah, exactly. You've now established yourself as a younger generation than me. I have to take a little bit of a breather in my old age, my friend, but I love it. But it's true. I never thought about that. You are on a different cusp of a generation, technically. But I think you're hitting on such an important point right now. This is a time, especially with AI coming in, that's creating so much content for people, and for just everybody out there that has a certain kind of energy to it. What's gonna win is authenticity and vulnerability, okay? And I think the mindset shift that you're talking about is getting away from overthinking and over planning to just being present with your journey and sharing what's going on. And this gets very tactical because I've had clients come to me and ask me, well, I'm reinventing and I'm now exploring different things. Like, what do I do with my profile? What do I say in my LinkedIn bio? Do I start changing my profiles? Isn't that too much, they tell me. I'm like, absolutely not. This is actually a great time to be changing your profiles. Be light around it. Have a very in-flow, I'm changing, I'm exploring. I am posting things that are relevant to where I'm at right now, because the truth is, not only do people love it, Chris, But what I've seen happen is that you start to open up doorways and pathways and opportunities that didn't exist before. Okay, you're actually not servicing the way that the world's working right now by honing it in and overthinking your profiles and the posts that you're doing, as opposed to sharing your journey, like you mentioned, which is the very thing that will have you make some of these new connections. And it really is magical when you start to do that. But it's hard for people. People will hear what we're saying here, right, Chris? Be like, oh yeah, I get it. I get what they're saying. But am I actually going to do that? Am I actually going to cross the chasm? And what's a safe place for me to land? Do I have to just share everything? And I think this is a personal thing to an extent, but I think the basic mindset shift is what you're sharing. Let's get away from this needs to be perfect. This needs to be so well thought out. This has to be the thing that I'm doing and I won't change it in a month, 2 months, or a year. No, get away from that and start getting in the flow. And I think that's what's going to win.
At some point in the past 20 years, we all became aware of this idea of like, if you put it on the internet, it's there forever. And that is technically true. If you put it on the internet, it's out of your hands. It could be anywhere. Who knows who has it? At the same time, things are so ephemeral right now. You make something and you post it, and in a day it's gone. I've made a video that got 1 million views, Todd, and a couple of weeks afterwards, it's like it never even happened in a way. I mean, it still gets some likes and clicks and stuff, but no one is like referring to that as a cultural touch point, and no one is pinning Chris Thide to that video forevermore. And it was a minute-long video, so it's not like it's my life story. I contain multitudes. So I think we just have to hold this in the right, it's loosely holding to it, right? Yeah, you want to be aware that, especially if you're career focused, you're not like having a yard sale all the time where all your dirty laundry is flying out onto the internet. But on the flip side, if you're professionally oriented and you're growing and you're showing that growth as you go, the stakes are not that high with these things. It's not like they get picked up by the nightly news and everyone calls you out because, God forbid, you've decided to grow from the career you're in right now and you're a little bit unclear in the way you communicated it, or like whatever you're worried about.
It's such a good point, man. Everything has gotten so decentralized and there's so much content and information out there. And this is something that big celebrities and huge influencers are dealing with, because there is no thing that they're going to make that's going to be, like you said, that cultural touch point. The thing that they need to do to maintain their influence is actually be really consistent, and they need to be posting a lot. It's a lot more of quantity when you get to that level. And I'm not sitting here recommending that all of our listeners start posting 3, 4, or 5 times a day, not at all. But it's a worthy thing to think about, that what you're posting is not all of a sudden defining you, and your whole network's going to see that post and it's going to be, oh my God, they're doing that thing. And now it changes the way that they think about you. That's not how this works. I mean, think about how you're interacting and receiving information from your network. It's like very light touch point. You're seeing very quick summaries from a lot of things. It's just the way the world is working right now. And so we have to let go of this idea that what we post is so serious and so meaningful. It's more about the narrative. It's more about getting into the flow and actually just releasing and just starting to share. Because again, this is just the way the world is working right now. And our whole premise here, Chris, is to help professionals, like people 35 and up, reinvent their careers, right? And create businesses and create opportunities and work that can last 20, 30, 40 years from right now. And the way that it's working, what we're seeing right now very clearly in our community and all the people we're working with, is that the ones that are going to win are going to be very flexible and very open-minded and very vulnerable in some ways as they're sharing, because it's going to be a moving target. And we just have to understand that that's the nature of the world right now. And so that's why we're doing this podcast. Like, we're embodying this. Like, we're talking about what we care about, because we understand that every episode we're going to do is going to be very different. And there's no one episode that's going to be the thing that's reinvention, right? And so I think that what you're saying here is really wise. It does need to begin with mindset. And then you got to start to plan it out a little bit. Like, well, what am I going to do? What is my actual approach? And I do want to get there on this episode a little bit.
I think we should get there. And one thing maybe to frame that up is social media itself, the way it works technically, has changed a lot in just the last few years. I know a lot of people we talk to, and I know that I was in this mindset a couple of years ago. Sometimes we're worried about posting what we really think or what we are doing out there because we're worried that Aunt Sally is going to see that, or whatever it is. We have these people in our lives who are sort of tangentially close to us, but they're connected on social. It's like this Facebook mentality that's kind of antiquated, of like all these judging eyes are going to see this. Truth is, people are going to see what you put out there, right? You want people to see what you put out there. That's actually the goal, but we'll get you there. But the point is, the way social media works right now, it's much more about the content and who's interested in the content. When I talk about career coaching, the people who see my videos by and large are people who are interested in career coaching, who are career coaches, who are selling to career coaches. It's not like just my cousin, you know. Right. There's one cousin who sees it because he's interested in this stuff and he likes the videos, and there's a bunch of cousins who don't see it. So we have to get out of this mindset, because I think a lot of these people, it's the judges in their family and their friends and their imagined projection of who's going to see it. I have a client who I talk to right now. She's going to listen to this episode, and we talk exactly about this point where it's like, I'm concerned that like these people from my past are going to hear my podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you should be so lucky. Put your heart out there in the world. Like, this is your thing that you want to do. Are they in your life now actively? Like, who even cares? We're projecting this idea of a judge who actually cares. The truth is, most of them aren't even going to find your podcast.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about what you're touching on is like the real, I love that we always go there. We get to this point where it's like the real thing that's happening. We're scared to share ourselves authentically because we're worried about what other people think about us. Okay. And that's just real. You're not going to come onto this episode and just have that solved. Like, I still deal with this. Like, we all deal with it to some extent. You know, when we're talking about reinvention, the more that we turn to that issue and actually realize that it really is vapor, people don't really care. Okay. They just don't. They don't have time to care. They're in their own world, just like you are. You know, you're in your own world about your life and everything that's going on. Well, so are they. Right. And will some people judge you and have thoughts about, well, who's that person to do it? Yeah, probably. But like,
sure.
Give us a flying F, you know, at the end of the day. Like, learning to let that go is the linchpin for being free and starting to like get into the flow and to find your networks of people. Because what you also said there is so true, that, and Gary Vee talks a lot about this, like the way that the social media post, the post that you do, okay, will get out there is by interest. Right. So the things that you're talking about, like we post a lot about career stuff, career pivoting, career reinvention, all this stuff, right? The algorithms are really smart now. This is just the way that it works. They want our content to get in front of people that are interested in those topics. And so that's very freeing, because now I can be more liberated to share the things that I'm passionate about as I'm letting go of my fear of judgment from Aunt Sally, right? And all these people that I have these stories around. I'm also recognizing that the algorithms want to get that in front of people that are really interested in those topics. So that's how you want to start thinking about it. It's interest-based, right? And it's also very present moment interest-based, right? Because things change. So what you're dealing with is just getting in the process of sharing yourself, right? And this is how reinventors are going to start winning the game faster. Look, you know me, like I'm a big fan of people 40 and up starting to post on social media. That's how we met, man. We met on TikTok. You and I just started TikTok accounts. I was posting 3 times a day, man. You know, you were posting once a day, and I was having fun with it. And I was doing that as a smart experiment, as we talk about, to see like, what would it be like for me to start doing this thing? And I found a business partner, an awesome one. And this podcast was derived from me posting on TikTok every day, and you as well. And I'm not saying everyone needs to do that, but there's something there that is valuable to do. Yeah. So I hope this is motivating, just to start looking at your socials with a more flexible mindset. Start changing your profiles. Start announcing what you're up to without being so attached to what other people think about you, and the fact that that announcement may not be the thing that you're doing in a month or 2 months or 3 months. That's okay, right? It's more about getting in the flow.
I want to just add a little caveat to that, right? There's a timing thing about this that we've talked about on this podcast, and we talk about it in our community. If you literally are like, I'm leaving my job now, or I'm getting pushed out and I'm just starting to contemplate reinvention, I don't know that necessarily you want to hop on Instagram and TikTok and start yapping about that right in that moment. Take some time. Oh, drum roll, please, Todd. Guess what I'm going to say? Take some time to get clarity. Dun, 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 dun.
Is that our new thing for clarity? We're going to have like
That's
a whole...
every time we announce the clarity we do.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It is one of those things where we're not telling you to necessarily just go out there unstructured, or as we've said on other episodes, willy-nilly into the world of social media. But earlier probably than you think, it's great to get out there. And listen, I'm also going to step out of social media for one moment and just say, for our reinventors, it is a great exercise in general, whether it is in person, whether it is in email to people you know. You are going to be telling people a new story they've not heard before that you don't necessarily have the perfect words and narrative to. And you're sometimes going to say things that you later don't believe in, or you grow out of, or you regret. And guess what? You're not going to die because you did that. Your body, your nervous system is so fearful of like rejection from the group that literally it's this thing we've talked about where people fear public speaking more than death, right? Yeah. You're not going to die if you say the wrong thing in these settings. And so it's like so fraught with all this literally like existential tension around it. Honestly, Todd, I think I was using TikTok, and I think you were a little bit, as like a practice ground.
Yeah, 100%.
That was the driving range for me. You know, I was just kind of like seeing what happens. And then like when something went well, I'd put it on Instagram. But I was like, I don't know anybody on TikTok. Let me play around in this space.
It was very free for me to do that, right? Like I didn't know anyone. And there's a setting on there that was like, do you want to invite your contact list? And I said no, because I wanted to have total freedom. But actually, this is a really important point, because I know it's very motivating. All right, I'm going to start changing my profiles. I'm going to start posting. You're right. This is the time before you do that to create some form of game plan. Okay. And what we recommend here is to spend some time, and we want you thinking about this. What is my social media strategy? You're all not going to be like me or you and posting on TikTok every day. Okay, that's fine. But we do want you to spend some time thinking about your LinkedIn. How is your profile? Okay. Do you post on there? And what can you learn about what other people are doing that are similar to you, about what they're doing? And can you start playing on that platform? Okay. Instagram as well. TikTok. The way I started to do this, I took 2 months before I did anything, Chris, on social media. I took 2 months and I went on all these platforms and I was watching people and I was taking notes and I was learning. And guess what? Some of these people had courses, like mini courses or mini PDFs, you know, and I downloaded them. I was like, okay, I was learning the terrain. And I think that this is a really smart thing to do, right? For reinventors, is to say, all right, I never really thought about having a social media strategy or building out a personal brand. It's all personal branding, okay? Like this is the time to be establishing your personal brand in some way, even if your reinvention entails still working in a corporate environment, that's fine. But that does not necessarily mean it's going to last for the next 10 years. This is a push, okay, to think about your personal brand, because it's going to become more and more important as time goes on. And so I'm pretty direct on that. I really do believe that people need to sit down with themselves, need to start looking. And look, there isn't like 20 platforms. There's like 5 that you need to consider. I mean, and there's probably 2 or 3 that are going to become your main ones. But start thinking about a plan. Start thinking, what can I do to build my personal brand that is going to remain immune to the incredible changes that are happening in the world and in my industry, okay? Because that's what you have power over, is the way that you communicate, the way that you establish yourself. And the people that do this, Chris, are just going to win, in my opinion. They're just going to win. And that's why I'm pretty strong that reinventors need to take a look at that.
The more that it's you, authentically you, uniquely you, the less it is at risk of being affected or taken away by algorithmic changes, by economic changes, by business structural changes. I mean, that is your moat, in a sense, around your personal brand and whatever mode you end up going towards. So this is really a call, and really reinvention is, this is the core of reinvention, is we're building it around you. Right. It's really who you are. And we want everyone that we talk to, all of our listeners, all the people in our community, to get to a place where their work is really centered around who they are. Social media is a really great, not only proving ground, but place to explore honestly to explore who you are, because when you're speaking things out into the world, it's different than when you're just sort of walking around and carrying your idea of your identity in your head.
Let's talk
right?
about that for a second, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about you. Obviously, we've done a lot of episodes now. You've got a ton of wisdom. And this is one of the biggest pain points that I've seen for people that are 35 and above who have lived a life and gotten some wisdom and had some experiences. There's this pain that walks around of not being able to share it. I've learned things and I give it here and there to friends, and people tell me, oh, like, you're wise and you know about that. Like, every one of us has a group of people that look up to us and follow us and admire us for the way that we think about things and the way that we do things. Every single person. Okay. It's like amazing. And there's this existential pain, and it gets stronger as you get older, by the way, that, oh my God, I need to like figure out a way to give this back. And guess what? I had this aha moment about a year ago. I was like, wait a minute. There's like social media platforms that have 1 billion people on each one of them. There's a lot of people out there that I can probably help in some way. Something that I say, some perspective that I have, right? That can help move the needle for people. It's very freeing for people to look at it that way without any attachment that I'm trying to become an influencer or I'm worried about what other people think. Like, it's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's actually about sharing yourself and giving back whatever wisdom that you have. By the way, and I've seen this again and again, it accelerates your reinvention. Opportunities happen. Like, magic opens up. People come to you. I met you. Like, things happen when you start to do this, and it's just crossing that chasm. Okay, so I would say making that plan, like, even right here as you're listening to this, can you be somebody that's like, yeah, these guys are right. I need to do that. I need to figure out something. Whatever it is, you don't need to know exactly what it is you need to do.
Keep it light and high level to start. Don't go crazy.
Spend a month. Spend a month or two saying, what is my social media strategy? How am I changing my profiles? What will I post? What platforms am I going to use? What am I actually trying to do? Another thing that happens when you make a game plan, Chris, is you start to understand what you want to have happen in the world. You mentioned clarity, but you can start to align this social media strategy with what you really want to have happen in your life. And this starts to get fun, right? And you start to actually see, wow, like, things are happening and my life is changing in a really good way. And I haven't felt this free before. I haven't felt this motivated before. And that's when the light goes on. And we're seeing this in our community, right? Like, we're seeing this happen with people that are like, wait, I can have this life. I can make these things happen. I'm no longer in some self-made prison. And I think that this is all relevant for you in your reinvention and
100%.
Like sharing on social and like what you did. Like, you probably felt so free just to be able to start doing that.
Like you said, even without any attachment to, I'm going to be an influencer, or I'm going to get this many followers, or this or that. It's like, listen, there's a lot of blocked creatives walking around out there. And I know there's a lot because every human being is creative. By definition, we are creative. And it doesn't mean that you have to be an abstract painter to be creative. There are so many different flavors of it. But that feeling when you are not expressing what you can give back, especially if you're like, we're helpers, right? And most people have this orientation, like we said, businesses help people. We're helpers. For me, it's literally sitting like it's blocked in my chest. And being able to express it in, in this podcast, in our community, on social media, and to put that out there, I don't care if it gets one like, right? If it gets one like, one person got something good from it, that's actually great. It's one of those things where I don't care if it gets 0 likes, just getting it off your chest and putting it out there, something changes, something metabolizes, and it actually helps you move your thinking forward. So my blocked creatives, and I know there are legion of you out there, my blocked creatives. If you're not finding this mode of self-expression through some channel, may we suggest exploring social media? May we suggest in general, just exploring, unblocking that with no attachment to outcome or result, just the experience itself. Try that and tell us how you feel.
Yeah, the cool thing about this, Chris, is that because of the onslaught of content from AI and how many billions of people are also just on social media, and the fact that we said earlier that your stuff is just going to go into this massive fray, like no one's really looking at it, that's good. Like, it's low stakes. Have fun with it. start experimenting with it. And, what we're all really looking for, and I really believe in this concept of micro communities, right? That's why we built a community for reinvention, as opposed to doing, here's our 6-week course where you can reinvent your career in 6 weeks. No, like the way that the world is going is into a more decentralized place. And what that means, it doesn't mean that there isn't hyper-focused groups doing real work, because there is, right? And what you're looking for is your people. You're looking for the people that resonate with the things that you care about and the business that you want to run and the type of work you want to be doing, right? So reinvention for us, we're calling in people who resonate with this idea of, like my career is a little bit in flux. I don't know what the next 10, 20 years are going to be like, but I want to explore that. And I'm really interested in this idea that it can be even better than what I did before. And reinvention, like we've talked about, is different than just career pivoting, right? Because we're going to push you to think about your mindset and to get clarity and think about what you'd really want to have happen. It's a little different. Like we do a little bit more personal growth work here. That isn't for everybody. Okay. Some people just want a career pivot. That's fine. But our micro community is calling in people that want to be in that conversation and want tools and want accountability and all these things that we do. Okay. And so that's what you're looking for in social media. You're not looking to change the world by your posts. You're not looking to like be this thought leader. No, you're looking for your people. You're looking for the humans that you want to connect with because you care about what they care about. And together, when you're in these groups, you grow together faster. Okay. And so it's another frame about what you're looking for on social media and getting out of, and you mentioned before we got on this call, the power of just being really vulnerable and authentic, because we're starting to look at some of our social media stuff, right? And you had just listened to a podcast that was about sharing, hey, like everyone's using AI to take their idea and then create all these social media posts. But you listen to somebody that was saying, yeah, like the more obscure and almost bizarre or authentic that you are, the more that it's going to pop out. Like talk to that a little bit, what that perspective was, because I think there's some value in that, because everyone's using AI now to create tons of content, but there's other ways to look at it.
We have talked multiple times on this podcast about my nemesis, LinkedIn. I don't know why I hate LinkedIn so much.
You sent me that one text of Skeletor. I don't know if that was around LinkedIn, but that cracked me up.
Skeletor going,
Yeah,
exactly. Just in case you want to code that we are millennial/Gen X, let's make a He-Man reference out in theaters today.
By the way, they're making a new He-Man movie. I don't know if you saw that. I saw a commercial. I'm like, all right, they're bringing that back. All right, no one even knows what He-Man is.
They want like a bunch of like 45 and 50-year-old dudes in the theater to watch He-Man, apparently. I don't
Exactly.
Yeah. Great demo to sell to.
I have the power. They did that whole thing.
Amazing. That was early childhood for me. But, I do know why I hate LinkedIn. With all due respect to the platform of LinkedIn, I hate LinkedIn because I see the same posts there over and over and over and over again. And it's the same structure, and it's the same link, and it's the same inspirational picture of the poster and their family standing on a pier looking off into the middle distance and emoji-led sentences in the middle of it, and 14 things that my kid hitting into a fielder's choice in his Little League game taught me about data science. It's the same stuff over and over again, and it's just schlock. It's AI slop.
Yep.
And honestly, I actually think some of it's human-generated slop because they've seen what AI slop looks like, and they're trying to emulate it and look like it. And for our own business, Todd, I'm going down this road of trying to figure out, let me embrace the demon. Let me lean into LinkedIn. And the direction I'm going is starting to say, I'm not going to just try to fit into their game and do what they do. We don't need any more of that. Let's be, I be me, you be you, we be us on LinkedIn in an honest and authentic and open and vulnerable way. And yeah, you can do some homework around how to optimize it. I mean, we're getting into business tactics. Do I put the right hashtags on it? Do hashtags even matter? All of that stuff. Great. Knock yourself out. But just don't be yet another version of the same thing you've seen 1,000 times before. Maybe in the short term that gets you more engagement or followers or whatever it is, but it's got no legs long term. It's not helping you find your people. And you find your people by sharing yourself. I feel like I should have a gavel to end that.
But I just want to say
monologue.
one thing about this because, and this is actually really big, you're embodying a reinvention premise here that I just want to shine a light on for people because when we met, you were just like so anti-LinkedIn. And it's a joke that we talk about here. Like you hate LinkedIn. And you have like a good following there because you were a corporate guy for a long time, right? And I've been kind of gently nudging you. I'm like, look, we're doing a business on career reinvention. All of the people who really need what we're doing are on LinkedIn. Like,
where could they be, Todd?
I was like just gently nudging you because you're like so against it. And I'm not a LinkedIn guy at all. I mean, look, that is not my platform because I've been doing other things, right? And so like, I was like, well, maybe Chris should like leave this LinkedIn thing because he actually has a profile on there, but he hates it so much. What are we going to do?
I thought it was a punishment.
You came to it yourself. And this is huge. This is like really important because you had a mindset shift around it. You're like, oh, wait a minute. I have a story about how bad it is, but actually I need to embrace this. And all of a sudden in the last week, you've gone in and it's unbelievable. You're all over it. And I feel like you're excited about it in a different way because your lens around it shifted away from this sucks and this represents everything that I hate about the corporate life and culture, that has really pissed me off and hurt me for a long time. And now I'm looking to do something else into, wait a minute, no, LinkedIn is an amazing platform that has a lot of amazing humans that really need our help. And how can we just get in there and be authentic and share what we're doing in the hopes that maybe some of these folks follow our podcast or download our workbook or even join our community, whatever it is that we do. And I think that has relieved you. I've watched you just be like, oh yeah, that's what this is. And I'm saying it so clearly because this is a message for all reinventors out there. We have preconceived notions of social media that is so deeply rooted in real things. I'm not saying it's not real, but you can shift that. And I think you really embodied that, right, in what's happening right now.
Yeah. Obviously, reinvention, it's right in the name, change and growth. You have to be able to change the way you think and feel and be okay with that and not feel like, oh, I said that thing and I believe that thing and now I have to take that to my grave with me. That's not the way I'm going to live my life. And when you look at something like LinkedIn, maybe somebody feels the same way about Instagram or Twitter or whatever platform it is or whatever even milieu outside social media that we're talking about or thinking about. Listen, if I think the content on LinkedIn sucks, well, I could either just not go on LinkedIn, or if LinkedIn is a place where a lot of people I can help by putting my passion and what I'm good at to good use. If they're there and I need to connect with them, well, what I can do is go on LinkedIn and make content that doesn't suck. And I don't have to be beholden to what everyone else is doing there. And in fact, that is something that I'm lit up about. As you said, Todd, I'm really excited about that right now.
Yeah, I've seen this big shift. Yeah, it's again embodying the tactics of reinvention to change our pre-existing beliefs around things like this, things like social media, things like LinkedIn, particular platforms. It's really interesting how like we have these ideas around these things. So, as we start to close this one out, Chris, the big recommendation for me, for everyone out there listening to this, if you got to this point in this episode, I do want you spending the next month or even 2 months thinking about your social media plan. Okay, like this is not to go willy-nilly out there. Okay, like I love that word that we're using now.
No willy-nilly.
From like the 1940s now, we're really aging ourselves, but like no willy-nilly. You're going to make a plan. We really think about the platforms, okay? And the reason why as well is that you don't want to just start posting, especially if you haven't posted in a long time.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize that these platforms will push out big time a new post that you haven't done in a while? If you haven't posted in a year on LinkedIn and you do post, it's going to go out there to a lot of people. Like thousands of people will see that. That's the way that it works because they want you getting the dopamine hit of seeing, a lot of people see your post so that way you start doing it more. Therefore, be strategic, make a plan, know that going in. Think about your profiles in a way that like, what do I want people to see about me right now? Do I want them to DM me? What about my work right now do I want them to understand that is really important to me? And have it be really clear, because in reinvention, you might be exploring several different things, and it can be a mistake to add in too much. Like we had someone in our community that is building out fractional work for their design abilities that they've had a 20-year career designing stuff. but they're also into this more kind of personal growthy world of men's work, helping men do more personal development stuff. And they were trying to combine the two into a profile headline that when they showed it to our group, didn't make much sense to us. And the question was, well, yeah, but I'm reinventing, so I want people to know. But this is the nuance, right? Because you can't just do everything all at once, which is why you need to start making a plan and experimenting and getting some help. So that way he got feedback from our group about, oh, that really wasn't that great. So now he shifted it into something better, which is why you need to have accountability when you're doing this. But for the purpose of this podcast, Chris, I think the goal is to get people motivated, right? To actually go ahead and do these things. And man, I love it. I think you and I could go off on this one for another 2 hours, but I think we got to cap it soon. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, I think that's the takeaway for people is let's put ourselves out there. Let's do it in a smart way, but let's get comfortable with this, because if you're reinventing your career, you are going to be putting yourself out there. You are going to be open and authentic and vulnerable. That is how you win. And it feels great. You're going to get over some fears along the way. That's all part of the package. But trust us, lean into this, go towards it. And yeah, Todd, man, this is a great topic. I think we could go for another couple hours on it, but I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the nudge on LinkedIn, by the way, too. That's good partnership and good accountability from you to push me in that direction. So
yeah, I didn't know either. This just came through. I was in it with you. I didn't know we were going to do LinkedIn and have a real strategy there, but it makes sense for us. And that's just part of this mindset of being open and flexible and having collaborators that can give you feedback and having a community or others that can be with you on this ride, because there's a lot that as individuals we can't see, but together we're better, And so that's at the heart of reinvention, doing this together. So we hope you love this episode. Follow us along here. If you liked what we've shared, you always can go to our website at ReInvention.biz. We have a reinvention workbook that you can check out and download. It's amazing. We have a community that we always talk about that's always available to you. We do amazing things in there. And at least follow this podcast, because the conversations we're having here, we believe are really important right now, for people that are in this mindset of transition. And we're going to continue to slice and dice it in countless ways. So grateful for you, brother. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.